In the headlines, Lakurawa Gang attacks Nigeria-Benin Border Checkpoint. ASU calls on federal government to implement 2009 BRICS Committee agreement. Trump pledges to restrict immigration from Nigeria, Ghana, and other countries. Away from Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau's military reopens borders following power seizure. A warm welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Maimuna Bagudu. And now we begin with security matters. On a sad note, 3 officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service have been killed in a deadly midnight attack by members of the Lakurawa terrorist group at a border checkpoint in Kebbi State. The attack occurred around midnight on Wednesday at Lakurawa along the Maje border axis of Bagudu local government area. Now, local sources told our correspondent that the terrorists stormed the checkpoint unexpectedly and opened fire on the officers on duty, killing 3 of them instantly. The attackers reportedly set the bodies ablaze before fleeing into the surrounding bush. This incident comes barely 2 weeks after a customs officer was also killed at the same location near the Nigeria-Benin Republic border, raising alarm over intensifying insecurity along the corridor. Now, the attack happened despite a joint border security agreement signed recently between Nigeria and Benin Republic aimed at curbing assaults on security personnel in the area. A security source who was not authorized to speak confirmed the attack, describing it as a yet another coordinated strike by the Lakurawa Gang, a group already linked to several violent incidents across Kebbi State. The motive behind the attack remains unclear, but authorities say investigations are underway. When contacted, the state's police public relations officer CSP Nafiu Abubakar confirmed the incident but said details were still sketchy.
This is migration checkpoint by Kirwa.
Now, 3 farmers have been killed in a fresh attack on farmlands in Gwa West local government area of Benue State. The victims were reportedly shot and brutally assaulted while working on their farms in Gilim Ashi village along the Naka Agagwe road behind Government Comprehensive Secondary School, Naka. Now, local sources confirmed that the bodies of the deceased have been recovered and taken to the Naka morgue. The killings follow an ambush less than 24 hours earlier when armed men killed a traveler along the Naka Makodi road near Kula village. Although Nigerian army troops repelled the attack, the attackers returned on Thursday, this time targeting farmers. Authorities are yet to issue an official statement as investigations continue. Now, the federal government has dismissed claims that Nigeria violates religious freedom, describing such narratives as false, misleading, and damaging to national unity. Speaking at the 25th anniversary celebration of Action Aid Nigeria, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, warned against what he called a growing mischaracterization of Nigeria as a country that suppresses religious liberty. He said international narratives suggesting that the government aids terrorists or criminal groups are designed to sow division among Nigerians. According to him, branding Nigeria is a violator of religious freedom is not only inaccurate but harmful, as it fuels discord, and undermines the peaceful coexistence between Muslims and Christians. The minister emphasized that the true enemies of the nation are terrorists, criminals, and bandits who aim to turn citizens against each other and weaken national unity. The minister urged civil society groups to support efforts to promote national cohesion and counter misleading narratives about Nigeria's diversity. Also speaking at the event, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi warned that Nigeria is sinking deeper into hardship, rights violations, and a worsening drug abuse crisis. He called for civil society organizations and development partners to intensify their engagement. In another story, the Christian Association of Nigeria in Niger State says there has been no contact yet with the gunmen who abducted pupils and teachers of St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri nearly 1 week after the incident. The Catholic Bishop of Kontagora Diocese and Chairman of Kan in Niger State, Bishop Bulus Yohana, says the association is still waiting for any form of communication from the attackers. He disclosed that 315 people were taken during the November 21st attack, 303 pupils and 12 teachers. The gunmen stormed the school in Aguara local government area between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., shooting a security guard before rounding up the victims. Meanwhile, the Niger State government has shut down all schools and deployed tactical teams, ground troops, and local hunters to search for the abducted pupils and teachers. Authorities say the search continues and the public will be updated as more information emerges. Now, the Raw Materials Research and Development Council is stepping up national advocacy for the 30% value addition bill, a proposed law now waiting for presidential assent. The bill targets Nigeria's long-running industrial gaps by pushing local processing and cutting avoidable imports. Trust TV's Noel Sampson reports.
At the center of today's event is the RMRDC 30% value addition bill, a policy designed to strengthen local industries. Once signed, it will require companies to add to at least 30% value to raw materials before export or local use. The bill will also limit the import of raw materials already available in Nigeria. Supporters say this will reduce pressure on foreign exchange, boost production, and open up jobs.
But now with this law, it becomes not just a policy, but what? An enforceable legal prescript. And this has very far-reaching effect or impact, not just in the manufacturing sector, but across all sectors.
This bill is the best bedrock of our future industrialization. It is the catalyst that will transform us from a consumption-based economy to a production powerhouse. So what does this 30% value addition bill offer? It will halt the export of unprocessed raw materials, thereby retaining economic value within Nigeria. It will stimulate the establishment and the expansion of local processing at the manufacturing industries across the length and breadth of the country, from agricultural commodities to solid minerals and wastes.
The 30% value addition bill represents more than a regulatory target. It is a bold pledge to strengthen our local value chains and reduce dependence on imports. It is also an avenue to create higher skilled, better paying jobs across communities and foster innovation, research and development in our raw materials sector.
Industry players say the proposal supports national goals that promote local sourcing, industrial growth, and stronger supply chains.
Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, the 30% value addition bill signifies a bold intentions to anchor our development model on productive capacity rather than on commodity dependence. It proposes a framework that will deepen domestic resourcing, strengthen backward integration, and stimulate the emergence of new intermediate industries. For manufacturers, it offers the potential to rewrite incentives that have historically favored import dependence over local industry.
As the bill waits for presidential assent, stakeholders say it could reset Nigeria's industrial direction. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Black Friday is here and Nigerians are already scouting for the cheapest deals they can find. But the questions keep coming. Are these discounts real or are stores just playing pricing tricks? And with end-of-year sales happening at the same time, many shoppers now say it's getting harder to tell what offers are genuine. In this report, Dorcas Yakubu spoke with shoppers in Abuja to answer the question, what's really behind the price/fever? The report.
Across Abuja, the Black Friday rush is in full swing, both online and in stores. With end-of-year sales running alongside, shoppers have even more deals to pick from and more reasons to worry about fake discounts. Many people we met shared honest, mixed reactions about the prices they're seeing.
2 years back, there was this advertisement on one Black Friday stuff. So online though, I patronized and it was true. I got the digital. It was on phone. I got it for a cheaper price.
On that day, things are cheap, they're affordable, a lesser price. Anything you want to get on that day, I've done once. I went to get clothes, wares, and some foodstuffs on that day. My money was not big, but what I got was enough for me.
Yeah, I take it to be just like a marketing strategy, in my own view. I don't think it's true. Because when you compare to what they will tell you, getting into the market sales is still the same thing that you will still get. It's the same thing, which means their price is actually higher than, as they call it, to be black.
Well, it depends on where they buy from, because I do not really think anybody who buys with the way things are right now would give out 50%. That's a lot.
A common concern kept coming up. Some stores raise prices weeks before Black Friday, then slash them back to the original amount. With many Nigerians shopping online, people are paying closer attention to these tactics. Vendors themselves are also divided. Some say Black Friday helps them clear stock. Others say the pressure to cut prices forced them to sell at a loss.
For end of the year, we do more of slash sales because it's coming to an end. So you need to sell out your old stuff in order for you to be able to restock. So end of the year is always exciting because you know that, okay, you are giving it at a discounted amount. So people will definitely buy it. So
no, there's not much customers the way we were expecting. So I don't know, but I think the things are expensive for them. They expect it to be like a treasure is something like supposed to be like cheaper.
To help explain the sales tactics, we spoke with a digital marketing expert.
A lot of these flash sales discounts are not real. Some of these scarcity or urgency that are created by marketers are mostly exaggerated or even false. So it is something that a lot of us know, and some of these, they tell you these things are available, but it's not real most of the time. So what I advise shoppers or people who are intending to buy is to always try to track your marketer's history. If you want to buy something, you want to know this discount they are giving, is it different from the real price?
He says retailers now depend heavily on online ads, influencers, and flash sale tricks to draw attention and push buyers to check out quickly. But for shoppers, the rule is simple. Check prices on different platforms, cross-check discounts, and watch out for wild price jumps before sales day. As more Nigerians shop online, people want clearer pricing and honest advertising. Buyers say that's the only way Black Friday and end-of-year sales can keep their trust. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has dismissed an appeal filed by the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, over alleged violations of his fundamental rights by the DSS Director General and the Attorney General of the Federation. A three-member panel of the appeal court ruled on Friday that Kanu's appeal lacked merit and had become academic after his conviction and life sentence handed down by the Federal High Court on November 20th. Delivering the lead judgment, Justice Bolukuromo Ugo said claims of rights violations, including alleged denial of adequate medical care, dignity and freedom of religion could no longer stand because Kanu is no longer in DSS custody, but now held at the Sokoto Correctional Center. Justice Ugo also noted that Kanu's lawyer, Maxwell Opara, confirmed during proceedings that his client was in correctional custody, making the request for the transfer from DSS detention to Kuje prison irrelevant. The judge added that Kanu had earlier preferred prison custody, meaning the request had been overtaken by events. The appeal challenged a July 3rd decision by retired Federal High Court Judge Justice Taiwo Taiwo, who dismissed Kanu's fundamental rights suit for lack of proof. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, University of Calabar chapter is asking the federal government to implement the recommendations of the Nimi Briggs-led committee which renegotiated the 2009 federal government ASU agreement. Speaking to newsmen in Calabar, ASU Unical Chairman Peter Obi stressed that the federal government has refused to heed the concerns and demands of the union. The Nimi Briggs-led committee was constituted by the federal government to renegotiate the 2009 agreement with ASU. The committee submitted a draft agreement in 2021, but the federal government has yet to approve or sign it. Obi said ASU rejected the 35% salary increase proposed by the federal government because it does not reflect the recommendations contained in the Briggs Committee report. And recently, the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, clarified that the 2009 federal government ASU agreement remains the last formally signed pact with the union. He noted that although the 2021 draft by the Briggs Committee was not signed, it remains the latest framework guiding ongoing discussions. ASU maintains that full implementation of the Briggs Committee draft is key to resolving long-standing issues affecting university lecturers nationwide. This is news updates on Trust TV coming up after the break. Trump pledges to restrict immigration from Nigeria, Ghana, and other countries. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories once again. Lakurawa Gang attacks Nigeria-Benin Border Checkpoint. And ASU calls on federal government to implement 2009 Briggs Committee agreement. Now moving on to more stories, United States President Donald Trump says he plans to permanently halt immigration from several development nations, a move that would directly affect countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Somalia, Sudan, and Chad. In a Thanksgiving measure released on Thursday, President Trump criticized decades of U.S. immigration policies, which he claimed have weakened the country. He argued that America's foreign-born population has grown to about 53 million people, with many migrants coming from what he described as failed nations, prisons, mental facilities, gangs, or drug cartels. Trump also claimed that immigrants with green cards receive more public benefits than they contribute, linking immigration to crime, pressure on public services, and urban decline. He cited an example alleging that the large population of Somali refugees has transformed the state and made residents feel unsafe. The U.S. president outlined a list of actions he intends to take, including stopping migration from developing countries, ending federal benefits for non-citizens, canceling what he called Biden illegal admissions, and deporting anyone he considers a burden or security threat. He further said he would pursue measures to reduce what he described as disruptive populations and even revoke citizenship for migrants he believes undermine domestic stability. Now, despite being recognized as a leader in Nigeria's livestock sector and contributing significantly to the state's internally generated revenue, Adamawa State has long lacked modern facilities to adequately cater to animal health needs. In response, the federal government, in collaboration with the Adamawa State government, has inaugurated a model veterinary hospital in Yola. The project is implemented under the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support (LPRES) program. Trust TV's Gibson Swadigo reports from Yola.
Please put your hands together for the erudite professor.
Adamawa State now has a fully equipped modern veterinary hospital in Yola, a major milestone for the livestock industry. The initiative will be replicated in 20 additional states, introducing a variety of innovative services across the country. Governor Amadu Fintri, represented by Chief of Staff Edgar Emosunde, acknowledged the livestock sector's critical contribution to the state's revenue and highlighted the administration's efforts to strengthen the entire value chain.
With this hospital, we look forward to better clinical services, better diagnosis, treatment, and management of livestock diseases. I appeal to clients to take advantage of this. I also appeal to the veterinarians and other staff that will work here that they should maintain the highest level of professionalism in the discharge of our responsibilities so that the purpose for which the edifice has been created will be achieved.
Minister of Livestock Development Idi Mukhtar Maiha praised the LPRES project for its leadership, noting that the new hospital aligns with the federal government's goal of creating a globally competitive, resilient, and sustainable livestock sector.
The renewed hope is alive and strong as ever, a mantra that inspires all of us to dive into every sector with a view to changing the old narratives and replacing them with the new and innovative ones. This is a hospital for animals. When we say animals, we mean to the goats, to the pig, to the sheep, to cattle, donkeys, horses, and camels. This is their hospital. We are changing the perception. We are branding livestock.
The national coordinator of LPRES, Sanusi Abubakar, alongside other stakeholders, commended the World Bank as well as the federal and state governments for prioritizing investment in the livestock industry. A key highlight of the event was the unveiling of ambulatory veterinary services, mobile units designed to provide timely medical care for livestock, including cattle, small ruminants, and poultry. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed all banks, payment service banks, and other regulated financial institutions to immediately withdraw any advertisement that does not meet consumer protection and fair marketing standards. In a circular, the CBN said a recent review showed that many financial institutions still publish adverts that exaggerate benefits, hide key information, hidden risk, or rely on unaudited financial statements. The Apex Bank warned that such practices mislead customers and undermine the integrity of the financial system. The CBN stressed that adverts must be factual and transparent and banned comparative or superlative claims as well as promotional inducements like lotteries and prize draws. All institutions must remove non-compliant adverts immediately and submit a compliance attestation within 30 days. The CBN will conduct a follow-up review in January 2026. Now, away from Nigeria, in Guinea-Bissau, military authorities have reopened all national borders just 24 hours after seizing power and halting the country's electoral process. The Inspector General of Armed Forces, General Lassana Mansali, reversed the closure of Guinea-Bissau's land, air and sea borders, which had been shut on Wednesday following the military takeover. Earlier, authorities declared they had assumed full control of the country, suspending all electoral activities and imposing an immediate nationwide border closure. The announcement came as heavy gunfire echoed around the presidential palace, where soldiers in uniform blocked access roads and took positions around key government buildings. Addressing journalists on Thursday, the head of the Presidential Military Office, General Denis Nkanha, said a joint command made up of all branches of the armed forces would now steer the nation's leadership until further notice. General Nkanha alleged that security forces had undisclosed a plot involving national drug barons, accusing them of importing weapons to destabilize the country and undermine the constitutional order. The situation remains flexible as regional and international bodies closely monitor developments in the coup-prone West African states. And in sports, Tunisia have started their 2027 FIFA World Cup African qualifiers on a strong note, overcoming Nigeria's D Tigers in a competitive opening match. Tunisia's captain Omar Abada says matching Nigeria's intensity and physical presence was the decisive factor in their 8-8, 7-8 victory on Thursday night in Raids. Abada described the encounter as highly challenging, acknowledging the pressure Nigeria mounted throughout the game. He however, praised his teammates for staying focused and responding effectively during crucial moments of the match. According to him, Tunisia's composure in the closing stages helped them seal the win against the determined Nigerian side. With the result, the Tigers will now look to regroup and bounce back as they continue their qualification journey for the 2027 FIBA World Cup. Nigeria faces a tough road ahead, but the team remains hopeful of turning things around in their upcoming fixtures. With that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news. Join us at 9 p.m. on News Hour for subsequent news bulletin. I am Maimuna Bagudo. Thanks for watching.